going to read some paragraphs out of Wisconsin Court of Appeals Internal Operating Procedures, revised November 30th, 2009. Decisional process. And I just want to read one paragraph. A case may be disposed of summarily by, or if the panel unanimously agrees on the decision, unanimously agrees the issue involved no more than the application of the well-settled rules of the law, or the issue are decided on the basis of unquestioned and controlling precedent, or the issues relate to sufficiency of evidence or trial court discretion, and the record clearly shows sufficient evidence of no abuse of discretion, and the issues may be resolved by merely stating the reasons for the decision without a detailed analysis. That's the first sentence. In addition, any appeal or other proceeding may be disposed of summarily if requested by the parties, if necessary for the sound and efficient administration of justice, or if otherwise required in the interest of justice. So, how many of you out there think you understand what they're trying to say? I really think that our laws need to be rewritten so that everyone can understand what is required and what is being done. Something that every person can understand and defend themselves if they want to. If you read this, it's just unreal. They do not need to explain one paragraph the way it's explained. I'm going to rewrite what I think they were saying in a manner that I think most of us would understand. A case may reach a conclusion if the panel unanimously agrees by the rule of law. The issues are decided on the basis of sufficiency of evidence. The trial court record clearly shows sufficient evidence or no abuse of, in parentheses, discretion by the circuit court judge. The issues may be resolved by merely stating the reasons for the decision without a detailed analysis. In addition, any appeal or other proceeding may be concluded immediately if requested by the parties, if necessary, for the interest of justice. One of the problems I have with people making decisions. So we've all been through what's been going on in our country, and depending on what news media you watched, you had a completely different opinion of certain people. Unfortunately, our society loves a good story. Okay, so when they hear that some poor victim has been, beaten and, raped and all kinds of things done to, if it's a female, not too often are males victims, but they're victims also. If the people making the decisions, the judges, really don't know all the evidence and they're limited to a certain amount of evidence, which I understand the appellate court needs to be summarized. However, the problem is too many of us have already made a decision as soon as we read the DA's charges. So what I found in this case was that many lawyers, I think there was 6 to 8 lawyers that were on a case that I was involved in, and most of them just read some of the police reports and probably scanned through other reports. You know, the police reports and the DA's charges and, you know, the victims thing, and they went, "Oh my gosh, that person is guilty." So they sat back, planned for a plea deal, and do nothing. However, what if this person really is innocent and this isn't an easy case to defend? In that case, you need to do a lot of work. Our justice system has become something that is based almost entirely around money. So if you don't have money, you're going to jail. Unless you're a drug dealer or somebody that's, you know, criminally involved where there's large sums of money, and they can hire lawyers for you if they want to try to get you out. Then you look at our laws and you try to decipher them. Okay. So, like, maybe an average to get an average good lawyer that you think's going to do a good job for you, it's going to cost you $50,000. The average ordinary citizen doesn't have $50,000 laying around ready to be given to some lawyer who's going to sit back and do nothing. So I really feel that our laws need to be rewritten so that we can defend ourselves. I also think that this business of hiding evidence from us should be stopped. I think if a family member wants to help the defendant or a friend wants to help a defendant, freedom of information. Now, if it's in a sexual thing, maybe some of the details of that don't need to be released, but any lab test results that could, you know, either convict the defendant or release the defendant should be available. I personally did try to get all the lab test results on a case after the trial was over, and I was denied. They said that I had to write a letter to the DA that was on the case. Well, that particular DA is not going to release any information to me. The other problem that I encountered during this, I mean, this situation has really opened my eyes, and that is forensics. Okay, you watch all these TV programs, oh, and they really dig in and they really find out what's going on for you, you know, and they're only going to charge you a mere, you know, 10,000 to, you know, maybe $25,000 for them to kind of look at a couple of pictures. Okay, they need to know the whole case. They need to go over the case. They need to look at all the evidence, not just one side or a few pictures. And this whole business that everybody has to have an ex-court, quote, expert, I would really like to see that go away. I'm hoping that with AI, everybody, whether you're rich or poor, will be able to use the so-called expert, because things are said in the courtroom that aren't true. Victims are allowed to say whatever they want to say with no proof of any of it ever happening. Our family members, we were treated like criminals in the courtroom. It was, I couldn't believe it. Okay, we had former police sheriff in there. We had doctors and lawyers, business people that made great careers and, you know, accomplishments in their life. We had firemen in there. We had upstanding citizens in there, and we were treated really badly in there, based on I don't know what. So yes, I would really like to see our court systems completely revamped. There is too much. Oh, and the other thing was, juries can't make a good decision if they don't see all the evidence. I don't really agree with a judge deciding, oh, I'm not going to let the jury relook at the text messages. Okay. Well, why not? In the text messages, there was no reference to what the victim was claiming. When the jury asked to review the medical records and the judge denies looking at the medical records again, there's a problem because there was information in there that was contrary to what the victim said. So, as far as education goes, I think we really need to improve our overall education of our population of how important it is to know at least a minimal amount of the laws. Hopefully, none of us ever have to go to court, but a liar can put you in jail, and a liar can put you in jail for the rest of your life.